Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever been in a position when you're not willing to do something, but at the end you choose to say yes because your relative, maybe your family or your friends, ask you to do that things, and because you love them, you're afraid of the guilty feelings if you say no. So at the end you choose to do that things, even though you're not willing to do that. And if you have ever been in that position, I'm gonna help you to starting your boundaries. Well, actually, the idea of setting boundaries came up from one of communication theory called as social penetration theory. This theory is claimed that relationship is like an onion. You know that onion have many different layers, and so that relationship. This theory is trying to explain that relationship flows from the shallow into the deeper, and at the end it turns out in the most personal space of someone's life. Well, this theory also can describe the definition of boundaries itself. Well, setting boundaries means that we decide in which layer we allow the other people to know more about us or to do something toward us. And this layer might be different between friends, family, and the other relatives. So I might allow my friends to be on the third layer, while my family on the fifth or sixth layer. It means that it's deeper than my friend's layer. So defining setting boundaries is just not about we set boundaries for the other people in our life, but also for our own self. I give you the example, ladies and gentlemen. I'm that kind of people that really love to watch K-drama, and I realized that it will lead to over addicted behavior. So I start to set a boundaries that I should only watch K-drama only if it is weekend, so it won't disturb my business, my study, and so on and so forth. Well, the example of my boundaries for other people is I really love to hang out with all of my friends to all of the places, unless it is not for drinking alcohol. Well, when my friends ask me to drink with them, I probably always say no because it against my religion, and like I don't feel comfortable. So yes, I would probably say no. Setting boundaries is the form of self-love or self-appreciation. By creating our own boundaries, we're trying to avoid ourselves from that situation that we're not willing to be there, or we're not willing to do that. It also prevents us from taking for granted by the other people. Moreover, by setting our own boundaries, we're trying to build a healthy relationship. What does it mean by the word healthy relationship? Most of people define it as when someone being nice to you and you're being nice to someone. But the word nice is now getting biased because some of people say that nice is when someone give you their extra time, give you all the efforts that actually didn't come from the deep of their heart. So actually that's not who they are. So by setting boundaries, we're trying to filter the people in our lives. So people who stays with us, it means that they love us because our personality, not because what can we do for them or what can we give to them. So it will build up a really, really healthy relationship. For some of people, setting boundaries is not an easy thing to do because of some reasons. One of them is maybe because they're not educated enough about the idea of setting boundaries. Well, maybe all this time, some of people didn't feel comfortable about when they do something for the other people, it didn't came from the bottom of their heart, but they didn't know what phenomenon happened in their self. Well, maybe if they know the idea of setting boundaries, they would have not do that anymore, but because they're not educated enough, well, they they don't set their boundaries. All of the ideas, all of the concepts that I have told before, it wouldn't be worthful unless you start to practice it by your own self. Well, there are some tips to start setting your boundaries. The first one is you should start to analyze, you should start to identify your feelings, you should start to identify your values. So you should try to consider which one do you willing to do and which one do you prefer not to do. After you have found out your values, your feelings, please do not deny it. Do not listen to the society, to the what society said, I mean. So please try to focus on yourself. Do not put yourself in the society standard, but please seek your happiness, seek your pleasure for your own self. After you found your values, after you consider which one do you prefer to do and not, you might write it on your notes on your phone and then screenshot it and set it as your lock screen, because it will help you to remind what things you should do and not, and what are your rules in your life, or maybe your red flags and white flags. So start from now, try to set your boundaries from your own self to more loving yourself. Good luck!